24 degrees right here in the nation's capital. Good morning and welcome to your daily dose of sunshine, Sunrise Daily, right here on Channels Television. I'm Kayla Megwa. Now we have a special edition of the show for you today. Now, a lot of things happened in the past few weeks, and we got someone to respond to some allegations that were made against him. I'm talking about PDP chieftain, Mr. Bode George, a life member, Board of Trustees member of the People's Democratic Party. Now, remember, not too long ago, we had a media chat with the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, and we made some very interesting allegations against Mr. Bode George. Well, today on the program, in an exclusive interview with my colleague, Ayo Makinde, he responded to a lot of those things that were said during that media chat. And that's not all that Mr. Bode George is going to be responding to this morning. He also talks about the fate of the PDP, the history of the PDP, and the future for this political party that we all used to love, a political party that was the biggest at some point. What has happened to the PDP? He talks about the past, the present, and the future. The derailment of the People's Democratic Party is what he's calling it. But he also weighed in on some other national issues. The bishops who went to visit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the controversy following that visit. He's also going to be responding to that during the program as well. And of course, his relationship with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Osun elections. So yes, he's urging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be cautious. A lot was said during this 15-minute interview. So we're just going to let you sit down, relax, and enjoy the conversation. So please, we'll go on a short break and we'll get back to you. All right, so sit back and enjoy this conversation between my colleague Ayo Makinde and the Board of Trustees member, life member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Bode George.
Our first conversation this morning is with Chief Bode George, who is a prominent Nigerian politician, a retired military officer, and long-standing chieftain of the PDP. Today, he is a member, a life member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Always my pleasure.
Let me just go straight to the and I asked you this question earlier. There are those who feel that the PDP was better in government than in opposition. In fact, a good number of people believe that the failure of the PDP in playing the opposition is one of the things that could be said to have crippled opposition politics in Nigeria. How do you respond?
No, that's absolutely factual. When PDP was in government, the structure was well defined. Everybody at his level knew exactly what he was to do, because those founding fathers, the way they conceptualized and formed the political party that made PDP the foremost national party for the first time in this country, gave its structure, meetings, the National Working Committee members, that those are the ones who are managing the party on a daily basis, and then the NEC, the National Executive Committee of the party, that will meet. It was next to the National Convention, which is like the Supreme Court, the final authority. And the role of the people in government were well defined. Those in the legislative arm are also well defined. The Board of Trustees of the party were also well defined. So everybody knew what he was to do. And it was ruling. There was no question of majority versus against minority. Everybody was belonged to the party. And so that commitment, that oneness, that unity was very well defined. But the moment we led government, the way we led government had an impact on the workings of the party. Because naturally you want to know who will be the head of the party. Whoever was president was the leader of the party. And the chairman, yes, the chief manager, the day-to-day running of the party. You had the Senate president, you had the speaker, you had all these other ones, and we had the chairman of the board of trustees to moderate. But the moment we led government, some people now, because of their personal ambition, now will refuse to take orders from the national chairman and from the working committee. They now saw the party as a personal empire for them. They would walk out, even if you are the most contributor financially to the party, that doesn't give you the powers. So we lost it from that point.
But there are those who would argue, there's something you said now that a number of people have questioned over time, which is the structure of the party, the leadership structure of the party. You said that the national chairman is, of course, the national chairman. But you also said that the president, whoever was president, was the leader of the party. Now, hitherto, First Republic, Second Republic, even Third Republic, that was not the case. What made it important in this party? Because there are those in this republic, because there are those who would say that is the crux of the matter.
By the time you have, I call him the leader, not the chairman. Whoever is the president of our party and the one in government, the powers that are there, the chairman of the party is not that is subject to him. Leadership entails, the chairman of the party will only be concerned about the day-to-day running of his party. But the president has a bigger horizon. He sees the end to another end. He knows the input coming from the opposition to his government. He knows the problems in each state administratively. Alright? So coordinating all that, international security matters, local security matters, he is in a position to be able to moderate the direction in which our party be going. So giving him that doesn't mean when it concerns party matters that he will just give a directive to the chairman, get up or sit down. No.
But is that not what happened when PDP was in government, particularly under President Obasanjo? There are those who say that he was responsible, for instance, for the removal of a particular governor at some point, and a number of presidents of the Senate.
No, not really. There are periods when things will be known. DG SSS, whom does he report to? The National Security Advisor, whom does he report to? The intelligence unit of the armed forces, through the channel to the chief of defense staff, who do they report to? So, who has the national and the better spread of the area of operation in Nigeria? It's the president. So if we hold meetings and we just zoom in out, we will be narrowed only to what each state chairman will come and tell you, or what the zonal chairman will tell you, and to plan and be quite nationally effective, you need his input. So he doesn't get involved on the day-to-day. If he's telling you is that, look, this governor is doing A, B, C, D, it's not that because he hates it. There will be reports about the things that governor is doing in his state, which will be reported. So it's an advantage for your taking decisions at the party level. And that's why he's a member of the Board of Trustees. He's a member of the National Executive Committee of the party, and he's also a member of the National Convention, which is the highest body.
But you have also indicated that the fact that the PDP does not have the president, the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, also contributed to the waning of its influence as an opposition party.
No. There are still the organs. Now, people lost the respect and the dictates of the Constitution because we think, I contribute so much to the financial something to the party, therefore I must have the powers more than the chairman or more than the party. The party should stand up or the party should sit down for you. It's not a private enterprise. Ours is not a private. No individual owns our party. That has been the crux of the matter. You know, some people will now come and think, I don't know who the party. How the hell are you?
But that
is, you know, it comes with time. It comes with your development. It comes with the level of maturity of our nation today. Otherwise, once something has been standardized, establishment, you don't go against that establishment. You don't start planning against it. Because if you do, you are decimating the party.
Is that what
has happened now?
Is that what happened? To this that you said has happened now, what's the backstory to it? There are those who say something that you said earlier, that the whole idea of what's happening in the PDP now started even before the PDP left power, and consequently certain influential politicians such as, you know, the G5 during the build-up to the 2023 elections, and now Minister Wike and all of that. Is that what happened?
You know, let me go to the history, because the future of any nation, if we forget the pitfalls of the past and forget to read the full history of the past, we are bound to make the same mistake in the future. And the level of impact it will have on your nation, you can never define it. Now, let me take us back. I have told you, individuals, because, you know, they contribute money to the management of the party, they now think they now own it. They tell the chairman, you stand up, secretary, you can't do this. You start to want to dictate. No. The fact that you contribute means you believe. Does it mean, let's localize it in an African home? Can a child, because he is now rich, come to his father's house and tell the Baba, you can't wake up at 9, you must wake up at 7. Or tell his mother, Mama, you cannot go to my sister's house, you must stay here. He will look at you and say, who born you? You understand? We should have respect. We should have, and we must respect the rules, respect the laws, if we want to continuously be regarded as a democratic nation. There are constitutional laws. The fact, people believe some. And Obama recently said, he said it is so easy for some people when you become the president, or you become the governor, that you think that power, which is true, in that office or in your bedroom, that this power, there's nothing you can do with it. It doesn't belong to you. The moment you convert that power to yourself, you have destroyed your nation. You must continuously put God first and remember that power comes from the people. And someday it will end.
How has this affected the fortunes of the PDP?
Very heavily. Very heavily. First of all, the founding fathers, led by Papa Alex Ekweme, the G14, came out with a concept in this country that really resolved the mess we had in the First Republic and the Second Republic, where suddenly the majority tribe will think they own it all, and the minority tribe were just mere onlookers. Who selected to be born majority tribe or minority tribe when you were being born? And the Almighty God in His wisdom told you. Nobody asked him, see, Papa God, sir, I want to be Fulani, I want to be Yoruba, I want to be Igbo, I want to be Ijaw. No. Boom. He just came out. And he said he created every human being in his own image. Love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say love your Yoruba man as yourself. He didn't say love your Igbo man as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. In other words, you are a human being. Treat others the way you want them to treat you. That was what God gave us. Come here. You may have an advantage. And the First Republic, you had all those the heavy tribes, the majority tribes, overran everybody. That was what collapsed this country. And then, when the military were going to hand over, Papa Ekweme, in his wisdom, no matter the history and how it will be written in this country, will have his name will be on the golden page. What he suggested, first of all, he invited Papa Bode from the Southwest. They were never political friends. Himself and Papa Bode, they were never political friends. Papa Solomon Land, they were never political friends. And then the Telakawa from Kano, Winnie, were they friends? Politically, never. But he got them. Got Papa Shioma, Papa Bananga Chuko, all over the whole country. They were 14 of them. They sat down. They said, look, now these guys, these military boys, are going to hand over. Are we going to go back to the First Republic or the Second Republic? No. Okay, what do we do? He now said, look, let us divide this country into 6 geopolitical zones. That's not in our constitution. He brought the idea with the acceptance of the other members of the G14. Northwest, Northeast, North Central, Southwest, Southeast, South. Brought them all together for the 6 geopolitical zones. And now said there are now 6 top positions in the land. The President, the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker, Secretary to the government, and the National Chairman. So 6 zones, 6 top positions. Which means your zone will go home with something. That gives you that sense of belonging. It gives you that temerity to feel committed to your country rather than just sit down look. And he now went on and said, if the president goes north, vice president comes south, senate president goes north, speaker comes south, secretary to government goes north, chairmanship comes south. So 3 up, 3 down. After 8 years, all those 3 positions in the north must come to the south. All the ones in the south will go north. Perfect. That was what we ran in 1999.
But that seemed to die after some time.
You know, because of the human greed, the thoughtlessness of people, the avarice, the incons. I don't even know what to call it.
But that's part of the grouse, I think. Yes, I think that was part of the grouse of Mr. Wike in the build-up to the 2023 elections that made him say...
He wasn't the only one.
Okay.
He said, yeah, you could see he was part of it. Who said, no, Buhari had just finished. Why should he be Atiku or any northerner coming? No. We argued it at the National Executive Committee of the party, which I told you is the second in command to the convention. They destabilized the party because of their personal ambition, the aggrandizement in them, the lackluster attitude from them. It was a heavy discussion. And no, it would not be another northerner until 2020, 2031. That's where the party will go. So if they prove themselves and let the party headed out, and that was the beginning of our crisis.
If you were in agreement with Mr. Wike at the time, where then is this whole conversation, coming from, the kind of rhetoric coming particularly from the speakers?
When you look at these young people, I find it, I accepted to come because to discuss, because all the things, the comments coming from him is an infatigue by age, by experience, by whatever. He, to open his mouth, be insulting elders, be insulting people. But when your people call and say, look, we are looking at it in a deeper way, for the public to understand the historical part of it. Because if we don't, like I said, learn from history, we will continue to make the mistakes in this nation. This nation by now should be apart with Singapore. We had run a beautiful race. Who liberated Mandela? Who saved, who brought about democratic dispensation in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia? The crisis in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, in Somalia, the first president of Somalia, where did he die? Where is that giant of Africa? For every 10 Africans, about 7 are Nigerians. So what is going on here? I'm 81 this year. I come from a political background because my great-granduncle, was Papa Habab, the first Nigerian nationalist, the first man to set up a political party in this country. Papa never struggled for any position. He just wanted people to be together, no matter your tribe.
So you take exception to the comments from Mr. Wike?
Absolute rubbish he's saying, total nonsense. But as an elder, my advice to him, he needs a spiritual deliverance. You don't get into public, be insulting elders. Look at that cardinal. He's a member of the Catholic conclave who normally appoints the Pope. He could be a Pope. If he's making a suggestion, what has brought about the insult? Now, all kinds of lies and things that he was saying about me. He's about the same age as my first time. So why would I bring myself low? When we have a local balance in here, that when a pig draws you to come and fight in that pit, in the pit, would you go there? No. What I want to say today, why I accepted to come, is to explain to Nigerians, don't listen to this crap these people are saying. This nation is far bigger. Today, yes, is their minister. The minister who first of all gave me land in Abuja was General Nasco. The first minister of Abuja was Papa Ajose Adeobi. Many people wouldn't even remember he was the first minister of the FCT. But General Nasco gave me land. How old was Nikki at that time? So when you talk, okay, today you think, oh, you have this, you have that. Let him be very careful, because life, for him, he's seen only the creamy side of life. Local government chairman, chief of staff to the governor of Rivers State, minister of state education, governor of Rivers. From governor of Rivers, he became FCT minister. I have seen the highest mountain in this country, and I have seen the worst valley in this country. I know what it takes. And when the Almighty God wants to use you, He will take you to His own spiritual desert, where you will see trials, tribulations, and understand the human behavior, because He needs you. He wants to use you. I have never, ever, from my background, from what I got from Papa, my great uncle, service is service to the people, not to yourself. So all these the issues, he has to be very careful of comments. He is now no longer an Equity boy running around the motor parks in the Equity land. He's exposed. They will take him on all the comments he's making, the abuses he's landing on people. He's the only one now who has presented all the candidates in Rivers. That is Rivers State. But I know some people that I have a lot of respect for from that same Rivers State. Dr. Odili and retired Justice Odili, Dr. Sekibo, the former Minister of Transport, and so many of them that we know. What does he want to give? What does he want to take home? What would he leave when his children read about his history and his lackluster attitude to the public? How would they feel? You asked me question, say what was it? When Atiku left PDP and with David Mark, we said go. We will not, because of your personal ambition, change the concept of operation in our party. They formed the G5, those governors. Then they came up with the integrity group, some elders. They invited me to be part of that integrity group and made me the chairman of both the integrity and the G5 to meet, to make sure that we follow the concept that was established by Papa Elect Ekweme and those others, the G40. That's all. That was what brought us together. And you look at it, I did my utmost best trying to put them together. And I will tell you today why that meeting broke. 2 days before the national election, they called a meeting in Abuja. They were all there. But many of the governors, I think only Sheyi Makinde and him were the two governors. The others were all just elders. And the issue of who to support came up. Presidential. He spoke on behalf of the G5 and said there are only two candidates in the South. We've been able to convince a lot of our friends from the North that it is the turn of the South. Now, continue. We have two candidates, Obi and Bola Tinubu. That their G5 are recommending Bola Tinubu to support. After he finished, he looked at me and I said, I have an objection. I said, look, everybody here, none of you knows Bola than me. I don't agree with you. He said, okay, Baba, what do you want us to do? I said, simplicity. Allow everybody to go back to their states. Discuss, debate, analyze, and come up with whoever you want out of these two. We can't get out there and say the integrity group and the G5 have now endorsed one. I said, you don't do that. Allow the people, state by state, let them go. And whatever decision they make, that was the last time we met. and after that, he went fully, he supported Bola. No problem. And the Bola he's thinking about, yes, we were staunch enemies in the first time. One day I sat in my office here, and who came in? It was Femi. Who called? He said, no, I want to see you. I said, Femi, no problem, anytime you are here, just come. Because him and I have sponsored a football match to honor Papa Nyoku in Lagos Island. So I thought he was coming for that kind of discussion. I said, "Father, come now." So when he came with another colleague of his. Fortunately, our chairman, State Lagos State Chairman, was, I said, "Join us." I said, "So, any problem?" He said, "Sir, what I have come for is that my Oga sent me to you." I said, "Your Oga sent me to you?" I was shocked. I said, "Who is your Oga? You are speaker in the house. The elections were over." I said, "Who is your Oga?" I said, "I said, sent you to me for what?" And then you said, "Get out of my office." Because I thought he was like, so he said, "No, sir." He said, what he said was, he knew he has offended you. And he has asked me to come apologize. Let us stop all this. Politics don't need all that to apologize. I sat back as a Christian. If you read the Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 6, verses 14 and 15, the Lord said, "If anybody offends you and he comes to apologize to you, accept it. If you don't accept it, he himself will not forgive you your sins." I told him, I said, "Okay." Not quite a month after that, another shocking surprise. Papa Lucy opened this gate. This is our Baba in our local government. I said, "Papa, any problems already? It's you, I want to see you." How you could have come into consider? No, buddy. I need something, so I am coming. Give me an appointment. Wow. I said, "Any afternoon, sir." I didn't connect. So when I gave Papa the time, so he was coming with some delegates from their side. It's the pitch, the highest level of civility, of decency, and of humility. Papa came here with retired Justice Olomimbe, a 90-something-year-old Baba, 2 former deputy governors, and some others. Fortunately, I have arranged for our own party people, elders, to join me. And Papa came. Okay? Our guy has asked us to come and see you. That we should apologize. They know we have offended you because of this prison, NPA, something. The story from a convoluted conspiracy. Bode, George and others versus federal government, and that those people there in the administration now sent me to be tried in the Lagos judiciary. What is the fastest track to jail?
So he sent all those people to you?
Yeah, they came and we said, "Yeah, Papa, sir." I said, "Will you please?" So I told Papa, I said, "Sir, it was God's way of trying to enrich my understanding of life. I've forgotten it. I didn't get blind. I didn't get crippled. I am free. And look at the crowd the day I left prison. I didn't ask them to come and join me. They came voluntarily. And as Papa sat down here, spoke, he said, "Look, we should also work together for the goodness of Lagos, no matter your political leaning.
I have to ask you one thing before we go.
Because the last thing Papa now said was that me too, I should carry my agbada and go to the villa to go and congratulate. So I said, Papa, I belong to the party, a different party. Go there. It means I am subjecting my party because our party still believes that we didn't win the election. Who am I to now go there? What am I looking for there? I said there is no yara, no room in that place, in the villa from First Lady's office to the pilot gate that I don't know. Because I retired there as a military officer and I worked there as a civilian with Baba Sojo for 8 years. Plus the military years. Then plus Jonathan's time. What am I looking for?
I have to ask you two very important things.
Right.
One, the governor of Osun State left the PDP ostensibly because of all the issues, and of course all the conversations making the rounds now and the rising violence in the state. On the one hand, one is looking at the fact that PDP lost that state along with several other states in the build up to this election, and now this whole rising violence and all. What's your take on this whole thing?
First of all, I want to advise Mr. President as a brother. We have different political leanings, but I want to advise him. I have been there. I have been opportune to be there. I have been opportune to have been in that same president's room when Baba was president. Discussion, whatever, and I've been to his office severally. The temptation is always there because the powers that you hold as president is enormous, but it's not everlasting, it's temporary, and that power belongs to the people, not you. You pray perpetually that the devil will not make your mind believe that that power is yours, because you lose someday.
In this whole issue, you think the president is
I want to appeal to Kadan, like the Hausas will say, Wayo, like the Igbos will say, Yoruba Lao and Itejeje. I want to plead with them. Whoever wants to contest, to compete, let it be. All these people who are behaving like attack dogs, there's nobody like you. There was a time they went and seized the accounts of Osun State government without a court order.
Okay.
And no, for me, my advice is this: whether we like it or not, the power of incumbency is there. That is an enormous power. The Yamukoko of this world, all those jokers in INEC history, will not be kind to them if they are not honest.
One last one.
No, because I want to appeal to him. Wike set up a PDP, his own faction of PDP. And they go, PDP, they're on the portal. Where comparing our section, the Turaki section, the Wabara section, the Board of Trustees section. You know, the man they made the chairman of their section, the insult is the driver of the Senator Aduba, our senator in FCT. His driver is now the chairman of the Wiki section PDP.
Is that not the one? Is that not the section, the faction that the INEC recognizes?
That is what I'm saying. That's the one they put on their portal. You mean you have so lowered the quality, the party that was established by the G14, those old men, and so for Wiki now to appoint a driver who can speak English. How can you make an Iroko tree, a political Iroko party, to be so denigrated, and now a driver is the chairman and is the one on the portal of our Musoko?
Well, we have to go, sir. Let me just ask this one last question. To the president recently expanded the military divisions in the country. You have been in the saddle, so you understand what must have informed all of that. But there are also those who are pontificating that maybe it's because of this coup threat recently that that informed that. What's your take?
No, I want to plead with the military. It is not the responsibility of the military to get into governance. I tell you, looking back, I saw negativism, the negative impact it had on our concept of operation. You know, in the military, you don't talk about your tribe. You don't talk about your house, how you practice. No. The next man to you is your brother, is your comrade. That camaraderie, by getting involved into politics, destroyed that. And because he destroyed that, he made the military almost a non-entity. I want to plead with history. I remember what we went through. I remember the lackluster of the oneness, the togetherness. My best friend today is a Fulani man. Where did I meet him? He's my brother. We don't think about you, this Christian, this Muslim.
Do you think, are you saying, sir, that this whole new military formations is a political move?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know whatever it is. But my own major concern for this country, because when you sit back as a trained general, if you want to expand, you would have looked at your threats. Who is the major threat to Nigeria? What is the greatest threat that we have? It's internal. It is internal. What we should be thinking about is how do we resolve the internal crisis of this country, the lack of insecurity, where any government, your first responsibility is the security of lives and properties of your people. And where does that come? It doesn't affect the military. Because what are the external threats that we have? Even the internal threats we have. Community police, state police, so that people can sleep well at night. All these bandits and all those nonsense that are going on. Because there's a difference, a major difference between the military and the police. You know, for us, when I hear a gunshot somewhere and I have my gun, I don't care who is on the other side. It could be my brother, my mother, whatever. I'm going to wipe out the other. Where the bullet is coming from, I will fight it. That's our training. And we must never take our guns against our citizens and soldiers. No. So, except on an occasion where there is an insurrection and the police can no longer cope, the commander-in-chief will now order the military to get involved with specific orders. I have participated in that before with specific orders, what we call it aid to civil power. It's a special operation. And until that is gone, what is the soldier looking for with the civilian?
So you're saying that the president should have prioritized state police?
That is the number one issue. One, it will create jobs for these millions of youths just going about jobless, angry, hungry, you know. Now, and then it will be community based. You know, it's not a federal issue where you say they have selected more people from this region than that region and all that kind of crap. We will say, hey, because we want people who will understand the language, the culture, the norms, the do's and don'ts of those people from their area.
Okay. Yes.
So that is, for me, number one priority. And Oga, I beg you, let him get it done.
We've been speaking with Chief Bode George, who is a prominent Nigerian politician, retired military officer, and a life member of the People's Democratic Party's Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for joining us once again, sir. Back your load.
All right, well, that was quite the conversation right there. A lot of responses, and you know, there's something very nostalgic about remembering the backstory of things, knowing the history of things. I mean, the PDP conversation, I think a lot of things that have been said today will, of course, elicit a lot of reactions from all kinds of people. So kudos to Ayo for getting this exclusive right here for us on Sunrise Daily. And we'll be looking out for the ripple effects of this conversation, because it is one that will cause a lot of conversations in the coming days. Well, that is all the time we have for you this morning on Sunrise Daily. Have a wonderful day ahead. Ayo, do you want to say something to us before we go?
Business morning is on the hour. Have a wonderful rest of your day.